Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble News Channel. 12x to what? How much size did it get? On X, a lot of people think that this is an alternative for self-custody. Without a doubt not. We care just as much as everyone else about how important independence is. Bitcoin is ringing the bell for a new product. BlackRock, on the other hand, did not like Bitcoin as much. A lot of people on X think that this is an alternative to self-custody. Without a doubt not. We care just as much as everyone else about how important independence is. But when it comes to letting institutions know about you, unless the CC mostly gave them the all clear, that was very important. They most likely wouldn't even think about Bitcoin. It would be very hard for groups to work together without an ETF. There would be a search for a new service provider that involves all of these offices and institutions' legal cost and compliance. Maybe not for a long time, since there would be so many ways for people to interact with it. This gives them a clear way to get started. It's wrapped in an ETF, which has worked well for end clients in the past. In our business, and it's now the favorite wrapper. This is a very general question, and Yasin can answer it in more depth if she wants to. But based on the study our team did, we think that prices will go up over the next 7 years until 2030. We think that institutional investment in a new asset class is the main thing that drives up prices. Institutions are paying more attention to it because they believe Bitcoin is the start of a new class of assets. In 2016, we wrote a study with Coinbase with that title. It really is a new asset class and banks can't ignore it. Why? When there is a new asset class, returns tend to be less correlated with each other. This means that returns per unit of risk tend to go up. That's why these groups can't ignore it. They are in a race against each other. That's why I think this new asset class will be very important. Hi there, crypto builders. Cathie Wood helped us find our way through the complicated web of institutional involvement, SEC approvals, and the fascinating world of BTF wrappers. Without the SEC's approval, businesses would turn away from Bitcoin, which would cause a major stalemate. Imagine that the legal compliance and finance offices are dancing in the sky. Each one has its own list. The ETF is now shining like a beacon, making it easy for companies to get into the crypto world. Cathie reveals the secret to crypto success, emphasizing the crucial role of institutional involvement and predicting its huge effect on price growth until 2030. This story about ETFs is only the beginning of a lot of new information that you will learn. After you click the subscribe button and sound the alarm, you'll be right in the middle of the institutional revolution happening in the crypto area. Let's bring up our conversation with Cathie again. I believe that's the reason why everyone is so thrilled. They agreed to work together with Coinbase. In that moment, I realized something very important at that time. The people in charge at BlackRock were not very fond of Bitcoin. That alone was very big. I believe that Yasin, that was 9 months ago or something like that. It could have been longer, maybe more than a year ago. That made people in the bureaucratic world think. Another thing that happened before BlackRock was Cambridge Associates, a consulting firm that works mostly with endowments, foundations, and pension funds. In 2018, they wrote a paper that told asset allocators, okay, you may not like this thing called Bitcoin, but you should study it and come up with a stronger point of view, because it does appear to be a new asset class. Since it's been 5 years, that kind of thought has been going through our minds. The reason given was that the SEC hadn't approved it. They won't have a reason now. And if you only talk about 1% of trillions and trillions of dollars or 1% investment, Bitcoin's value will shine through next year if institutions decide they need to get into this new class of assets. When we talked to one of the state treasurers, he said that he feels like he needs to make this decision right away. He also talked about the havening. It shocked me that the state pension plan manager knew about the safe haven. That's very interesting. Some people feel like they need to act quickly, but I want to talk about the institutional kind of gridlock that can happen when decisions need to be made from the legal or compliance offices of a company. There are a lot of touch points there. Also, I agree with Yasin that there have been a lot of moves to buy Bitcoin before this. You'll also get our business a lot. The move will be called a sell after the news. That's why hedge funds buy into other hedge funds and other buyers buy into something they think will happen. And when it does, it's just a sign for them to sell. Then they moved on to the next thing. some of that might happen, but there's already enough talk about it as it is. Then it might not be as big of a deal as it was before.